Welcome to the Seattle Labor Chorus concert entitled Our Voices, Our Rights. We'll be singing songs celebrating democracy, voting rights, and social justice. Songs that uphold the tradition of labor movement music and inspire us to fight for a better future. I'm Elizabeth Stensrud.
And I'm Susan Clark. This year, we're also featuring speakers from 4 local nonprofits who are leading the way in defending voting rights, promoting peace, upholding democracy, and preserving the planet. We the Seattle Labor Chorus, live, work, and sing on the ancestral lands and waters of the Coast Salish indigenous peoples, including the Duwamish, Suquamish, Muckleshoot, and their kin from neighboring communities. We wish to honor and express our gratitude to the land itself and to these first peoples.
Our first song welcomes immigrants. It is a celebration of all they add to our communities and a vow to stand up for their rights. A song from the late, great John Frommer. This is Welcome.
The melody of our next song, Voting is a Right, will be familiar to many of you. This is our take on the folk standard, Goodnight Irene. It's arranged by Miriam Anderson, with lyrics rewritten by Lauren Tozzi, who sings tenor. The lyrics are very timely, and maybe you noticed that at last weekend's state Republican convention, the delegates called for the end of mail-in voting. Yeah. We'd like you to sing along on the chorus. Miriam is here to encourage you. And of course, if you'd like to sing along on other songs, I don't think anybody here is going to stop you.
So we're going to teach you the chorus first. And that's what we would love for you to sing along with us. If you know the song Goodnight Irene, then the melody should be very easy to pick up. The words are voting is a right. Voting is a right. We want our ballots in the mail. Voting is a right. So we're going to demo the chorus for you. We'll sing it 2 times through, so feel free to join in the second time, and then we'll do the actual song.
Voting is a right. Voting is a right. We want our ballots in the mail. Voting is a right. Voting is a right.
bum, bum, bum. Please feel free to join us. Sopranos, altos, tenors.
Sometimes it's gerrymandering, sometimes it's straight purging, sometimes it's election subversion, all driven by the old right wing. Voting is a right, voting is a right. We want our ballots in the mail. Voting is a right. Sometimes it is a battle, sometimes it seems like a war, but always when the people unite, democracy surely will soar. Voting is a right, voting is a right. We want our ballots in the mail. Voting is a right. Stop the filibuster. Stop all the racism too. We want the Freedom to Vote Act, sealed in the red, white, and blue. Voting is a right. Voting is a right. We want our ballots in the mail. Voting is a right. We remember Fannie Lou and Blue while Moses spoke. In honor of John Lewis, we'll fight till all people can vote. Voting is a right. Voting is a right. We want our ballots in the mail. Voting is a right. We want our ballots in the mail. Voting is a right.
That was wonderful. Thank you all so much. The Seattle Labor Chorus has been singing for 27 years now, ever since we were first convened at the request of Pete Seeger. Maybe one reason this audience sings so well is that we have a lot of chorus alumni here, including people who sang at that first concert in 1997. Chorus members, audience members, anyone who was here singing in that first concert, can you raise your hands? Woo!
I had to put my folder down to clap. The Poor People's Campaign is a national call for moral revival. It builds on the work of Dr. Martin Luther King and others to create a broad fusion movement around the 5 injustices of poverty: racism, ecological devastation, militarism, and reclaiming the moral narrative. The Washington State Poor People's Campaign has a dedicated group of members and supporters led by people affected by those 5 injustices to do this work, to build power, to shift the narrative away from blaming the poor, and to have an impact on elections and policies all around the country. Susan Partnow is here to tell us more. Susan is a member of the coordinating committee for the Washington State Poor People's Campaign, and she's here with 2 of her friends, people that I happen to know and like, Anitra Freeman and Karen Schneider. Come on up.
So great to be here. Can you hear me okay? Good. Our campaign is birthed in the conviction that a moral revival is necessary to shift the distorted moral narrative away from religious nationalism that blames the poor instead of systems that cause poverty. In May 2020, our very own Pramila Jayapal, along with Barbara Lee, introduced House Resolution 438 called the Third Reconstruction, fully addressing poverty and low wages from the bottom up. This bold and necessary resolution articulates our agenda for Congress, as said, to commit to eradicating poverty, to recognize that poverty is not a personal choice, but a policy choice. In this election year, we enter a season of great possibility. We are one of 36 state campaigns seeking to recruit in each state 200 volunteers to build our base, reaching out to activate millions of poor and low-wealth, infrequent voters. 15 million, right? Yeah. 15 million. We are the movement that can, what we call, awaken the sleeping giant. We're nonpartisan, but definitely political. We mobilize, organize, register, educate, get out the vote. In the last midterm election, the National was able to contact over 5 million across 15 states, and this season, we are working to reach 3 times that, 15 million across 36 states. In 2021, the Poor People's Campaign conducted an in-depth national study, you should all check it out, called Awaking the Sleeping Giant, Poor and Low-Income Voters in the 2020 Elections. This revealed there's a massive number of infrequent voters who, if activated, could change the direction of our nation. We are the movement that will indeed awaken the sleeping giant. We have 36 active states to recruit and train these 200 volunteers, so we'll have an army of moral allies, including and being led by poor and low-wealth individuals to build voter outreach. And we'll have extensive training from the National. We invite you, each of you, to become one of those 200. Join us in this campaign. We're building Washington State's Get Out the Vote mobilizing team as part of the Poor People's potent strategy of building state-based power. We've learned it's the states that really count, right? So please join us and help build the base. Engage with the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for a moral revival. Join us to activate this voting bloc. So we want to end the interlocking injustices of poverty, racism, ecological devastation, militarism, and changing that moral narrative. Yeah. So Karen will join us in our rallying call.
We have a traditional chant that we love to do, and so everyone just join us. We say forward together, and you're all gonna say not one step back. Okay, we're gonna do this 3 times. So everyone, forward together,
Not one step back.
forward together,
Not one step back.
forward together.
Not one step back.
Thank you. And, sign up back here.
Thank you so much. Our next song is called Masters of War by Bob Dylan. The song's melody was adapted from the traditional tune, Nottingham Town, and arranged by veteran folk singer Gene Ritchie. Dylan's lyrics are a protest against the Cold War nuclear arms buildup of the early 1960s. It speaks against what Eisenhower was calling a military-industrial complex as he was making his exit from the presidency.
And our second song in this set, One in the Number, was written by John Fromer, as was our welcome song. John was an extraordinary presence in the labor movement until his death from cancer in 2013. His was a powerful, passionate voice, both literally and figuratively. In his music and in his work as a producer of television documentaries for KQED, which is the public station in San Francisco, and before that for the NBC affiliate there, he always found in his television work and in his music the emotional core of an injustice, or of the work that we must all do to make a better world. It takes a lot of us to do that, and John expressed the desire to be one in the number.
Come, masters of war, you that build all the guns, you that build the death blade, you that build all the bombs, you that hide behind walls, you that hide behind desks. I just want you to know I can see through your mask. You never done nothing but built to destroy. You play with my world like it's your little toy. You put your gun in my hand and you hide from my eyes, and you turn and run farther when fast bullets fly. Like Judas of old, you lie and deceive. A world war can be won. You want me to believe, but I see through your eyes, and I see through your brain, like I see through the water that runs down the drain. Let me ask you one question, let me ask you one question. Is your money that good? Is your money that good? Will it buy you forgiveness? Will it buy you forgiveness? Do you think that it could? Do you think that it should? I think that you'll fall. I think that you'll fall. When death takes its toll, when death takes all the money you made, will not buy back your soul.
you. The Abe Keller Peace Education Fund supports peace and justice education activities in the Puget Sound region. Abe Keller was a passionate, prolific, and joyous activist for peace and justice. This fund supports local and small-scale projects, turning small contributions into a collective force for social change. It recognizes people in the community who have made a difference in peace and justice education. One of its honorees has been Beth Brunton, who sings with us, for her work in advocating dropout prevention and teaching peace in the classroom.
The Abe Keller Foundation also gave the Seattle Labor Chorus a grant that made possible the transmission of this concert on Zoom. And yay is right. And the technical upgrades it made possible make this a better experience for everyone. Their representative here is Bob Barnes, who sings bass in the Seattle Labor Chorus. Bob also provides technical support for this concert and is a member of the Abe Keller Foundation Board. Bob?
All right, thank you all. I also want to say thanks to my crew. I'm really not doing anything Rise Up today, except watching over them. The Abe Keller Peace Education Fund was created in 1998, so we've been around a little while. I want to talk a little bit about it because not many people know about this small but we think mighty organization. By supporting local and small-scale projects where our funding can have a significant impact, we turn many small contributions into a collective force for social change. Our mission is to make a small strategic financial contribution to groups and organizations in the Puget Sound region that educate the public about peace and justice through programs, projects, and outreach activities. Our vision is to live in a society that prioritizes meeting civic needs and seeking peace and justice rather than funding the military-industrial complex, which we just sang about. We define education as a broad activity that can include training, organizing, demonstrations, and other formats that help grow collective knowledge about peace and justice in our communities. The Keller Foundation has given grants to a wide range of activities and programs that embrace our goals, including music, drama, arts projects, public education programs, events and demonstrations, educational activities such as scholarships, curriculum development, internships, courses, and camp programs. Let's go to camp. Just to give a sampling of at least dozens of activities and communities we have funded that demonstrate the reach of the fund's work. Just very short list: the Legal Collective for the People, the Somali Family Safety Task Force, Washington Physicians for Social Responsibility, Kids for Peace, the Mike Yarrow Peace Foundation. Some of y'all might remember Mike. He used to sing with the chorus. From Hiroshima to Hope, the Standing Rock Resistance. Get ready for this: the Tacoma Refugee Choir, the Seattle Peace Chorus, and the Seattle Labor Chorus. So, and a little bit about Abe, who was an icon of his time, which is not most of our time. I guess I was around that. He was, yeah, I was. Okay, all right, I was around that. I was not, however, born in 1916 when Abe was. He was no, I really wasn't. Okay. He was a dedicated educator and passionate activist. He left a proud legacy of accomplishments in our community. He did pass away in 1997. He's son of immigrants from Poland. He grew up among black, Jewish, and Italian families in a poor section of Cleveland. He worked hard to earn a college education and a doctorate in French literature. As a professor at the University of Washington in Romance languages and literature since 1948, he remained committed to peace and social justice. Abe was fearless in defending academic freedom, First Amendment rights, and related causes. He risked his career at the UW in the 50s and 60s during the McCarthy era to stand up for the right to speech. Fortunately, he didn't get charged, but some of his comrades and people we know did. Later, he put himself on the line protesting Trident submarines, nuclear testing and proliferation, and various U.S. interventionist campaigns. And for some of you old-timers, he was a marvelous storyteller, and he had a program called Keller the Teller on KCTS television. Anybody remember KCTS television? Yeah, okay, maybe somebody. I would love it if there's tapes like that around. That would be fun. Abe's peace and justice activities included being involved with pretty much every peace and justice movement in this region during the time he was around. Sounds like at least Somebody knew Abe, right? Yeah, all right, okay. Yeah, we still live in a society struggling with violence, injustice, and inequality. Expanding Abe's legacy ensures that individuals and organizations continue to work for nonviolent, just alternatives. And I know this is a fundraiser for the Seattle Labor Corps, but if during giving times y'all want to kick in some money to the Abe Keller Peace Foundation, that's how we get our funds to disperse out, so keep us in mind. All right, let's get back to the concert.
Thank you, Bob. Our next song, This Is What Democracy Looks Like, is based on a popular chant and set to music by Elizabeth Alexander. This song features a call and response section that we would love your help with. Miriam will show you the way.
All right, so you get to participate in 2 different ways with this song, both as percussionists, clapping, and as speaking. So we're going to say, just in case you're wondering, sing, just in case you're wondering, a number of times. And after we do that, you'll clap 2 times. So it's going to sound like this. Just in case you're wondering, just in case you're wondering. Yep, you got it, great. And then finally, for the last part of this song, we'll sing, This Is What Democracy Looks Like, and then we would love for you to respond, show us what democracy looks like. We'll then repeat that and say, this is what democracy looks like, and then we count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see if we can do that. Let's try to speaking back and forth. So chorus, and this is what
democracy looks like. Show us what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, and it kind of works with some of you. Do whatever you want. That's fun. This is a participatory one.
We see that there's a wrong to be righted. 2, we know that we are stronger when united. 3, we exercise our right to assemble. 4, that's when the proud and mighty start to tremble. Just in case you're wondering, just in case you're wondering, just in case you're wondering. Hey, hey, look this way. This is what democracy looks like. Show us what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. We see that there's a wrong to be righted. 2. We know that we are stronger when united. 3. We exercise our right to assemble. 4. That's when the proud and mighty start to tremble. Just in case you're wondering, just in case you're wondering, just in case you're wondering. Hey, hey, look this way. This is what democracy looks like. Show us what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what democracy looks like. Show us what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. Good work. It's time for our short intermission. We'll just give you a little reminder here. We have a concert at Folklife this year. It will be Saturday, yay is right, May 25th from 7 to 9 p.m. in the Cornish Theater. We'd love to see you there. Also, we're inviting you to the sing-along we're leading in the Cornish Courtyard on Friday, May 25th, 1 to 1:45. And come sing with us on that one, too. So we'll be back in 15 minutes. Hope you are, too.
Oh, raffle tickets!
Oh, no. No.
If you have not yet bought your raffle tickets for our beautiful quilt created by Susan Gordon, please take a look at the quilt and get your tickets. You might even win it this year. We also have some items that did not sell in our online auction, some things that just look better in person. Those are available for any price you're willing to pay in the courtyard.
Welcome back. Intermission's over, but y'all back there getting a few things to eat, you're welcome to keep going. And at the end of the program, of course, you are more than welcome to talk to our people representing these terrific organizations, get some refreshments, look at the pay what you will table just outside for the things that look so much better in person than they do online that they haven't sold yet. So there's a lot to do besides just sticking around and talking to the really interesting people who come to Seattle Labor Chorus concerts. Our next song, Stand Up, Not in My Name, by Katrina Willard, is an inspiring call to action and accountability for all of us living in this time of perpetual war. Securing a lasting peace anywhere is made more difficult by the fact that the 4 countries that make and export the most weapons are 4 of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council: United States, France, Russia, and China. And as you probably know, the country that receives the most military aid from the United States is Israel. Egypt is second. And the idea behind that, when it started, was, of course, to keep peace in the Middle East. I think we can see how well that's working right now. Still, we hope you will be inspired, as we are, by this musical call for justice to resist state violence here and abroad. During this song, you'll hear a small group of us singing another familiar melody, This Land Is Your Land, with lyrics rewritten to reflect a decolonial perspective.
In a democracy, we have responsibility, and when we disagree, we must stand up. So when our government on waging war is bent, we must voice our dissent, we must stand up. And I will stand up for freedom, I will stand up for justice, I will stand up to say, not in my name. And I will stand up for peace, I will stand up for democracy, I will stand up to say, not in my name. When the rights of one are infringed upon, all of our freedom is gone, we must stand up. Let the imprisoned hear, freedom will persevere. We will not live in fear, we will stand up. And I will stand up for freedom, I will stand up for justice, I will stand up to say, not in my name. And I will stand up for peace, I will stand up for democracy, I will stand up to say, not in my name. And I will stand up for freedom, I will stand up for justice, I will stand up to say, not in my name. And I will stand up for peace, I will stand up for democracy, I will stand up to say, not in my name. This land we live in, for freedom, we all must care for justice, share in its bounty, refuse to wage war, insist on justice, say no to tyranny. That work is up to you and me. Let's stand together, you and me. Let's stand together, you and me.
Guys, I have great news. Our next song is another sing-along. Called The Tide is Rising, this is what's known as a zipper song, which means it features a repeated melody and lyrical structure with different words plugged in for each verse. We will sing an initial verse to teach you the melody, and then we invite you to join us. Miriam will very helpfully be shouting the lyrics before each transition.
All right, so first we're just gonna teach you the melody, so we'll sing through the first verse once, and then we're gonna go back and start it over again, do it in harmony. You're welcome to harmonize, sing the melody, do whatever you want, but sing with us if you so feel like it. So here's the melody, everyone on the alto line. 1, 2.
The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.
All right, sing with us.
The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.
The strike is mighty.
The strike is mighty, and so are we. The strike is mighty, and so are we. The strike is mighty, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.
The storm is raging.
The storm is raging, and so are we. The storm is raging, and so are we. The storm is raging, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.
Workers are rising.
Workers are rising, and so are we. Workers are rising, and so are we. Workers are rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.
The world is ready.
The world is ready, and so are we. The world is ready, and so are we. The world is ready, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.
The tide is indeed rising, as is the level of carbon dioxide in the air we breathe. Yeah, is right. Now, there is a number, 350 parts per million of carbon dioxide, beyond which we cannot expect to keep a planet similar to the one on which human civilization developed, or even similar to the planet to which all life on Earth is adapted. We are above that number now. We are far above that number. The current daily reading, I checked last night, is more than 424 parts per million of carbon dioxide. Boo is right. 350 Seattle works toward climate justice by organizing people to make deep system change, resisting fossil fuels, building momentum for healthy alternatives, and fostering resilient, just, and welcoming communities. Shimona Moreno is the Executive Director of 350 Seattle, and she is here to tell us about their current work. Shimona.
Hi. Sorry to bum y'all out about the current state of our climate. But never fear, 350 Seattle is here, and we're having like a really great time this year. And for the past few years, we've been working really consistently on Green New Deal solutions that really focus on like yes fights, because that's, where we wanted to build more hope and inspire more people to get involved, because it is disheartening to hear about just like the path that we've set ourselves on, but we can undo that. And 350 Seattle is just super excited to get everyone involved in making change and making change together and making change with not just climate folks, but with abolitionists, with labor, with other community service organizations, especially the ones that are here today. And we're super grateful to be here with y'all and to listen to this beautiful music and to work with all of you wonderful people. I can see a couple of our volunteers in the crowd, and it's so exciting because at 350 Seattle, we work on a variety of different things underneath this climate justice umbrella. We have folks that are working on federal policy, working on the Green New Deal at the federal level. Shout out to Beth. And Bobby, I see you over there. We're also doing a lot of great things at the Washington state level in partnership with a lot of the other 350 chapters in Washington through our civic action team. We do a lot of great public advocacy, making it more accessible and like kind of going behind the curtain and exposing all of the inner workings at our state legislature and making it more accessible for people to engage and to speak up and make contact with their legislators. Because you forever hear like, well, we didn't hear from the community. I'm like, guess what? We're here to make sure everyone can contact you by phone, by email, and showing up at your office. And at the city level, we're working really, really hard on different policies and levies. And over the past few years, we've won all of our campaigns around a Green New Deal. In 2021, we won solar schools, like investments in clean energy for our Seattle public schools. In 2022, we won over $100 million for investments for our Seattle community centers through the Seattle Parks Levy. And so 13 of our community centers in Seattle are going to be retrofitted for like clean air, cooling, and heating. Because where are we supposed to go in a heat emergency? And just last year, we won a really toothy policy, and it was wonky as heck, but we had some really great community engagement and worked with our government officials at the city council to make sure that we could have really toothy building emission performance standards, like to transition all of our large buildings downtown off of gas. Because this is electrification of our buildings and reducing our carbon emissions is our future. And we won that. We won that with our community, with our partners. And this year we have the great honor to really focus and partner with a lot of our other community groups on social housing, so the I-137 initiative. And like a lot of people are like, why are you guys throwing down with social housing? Because one, social housing is very much needed in our city. And two, it is a Green New Deal solution. When we build new housing, we can make sure that housing is built with clean, cool, and heated without gas. We want clean energy when building all of our new homes. And so we're really excited to be partnering with House Our Neighbors and Real Change and a lot of other groups. So if you haven't signed, if you're registered in Seattle, please check out. There's a couple people who have ballot initiatives where you signature gathering in our table at the back. And just like overall, there's a ton of other things that we're doing. We do anti-war work, really talking through like the connection between climate justice and militarism, and like how the war is a huge carbon emission, just like among other things, which, and so that's a conversation that our team is like doing more to like dig into and make sure that people are aware about it. All right, I don't know where I was gonna go. I lost my train of thought, so. But I'm gonna try and end strong. I just wanted to thank you all for being here, and thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and thank you for the Seattle Labor Chorus for inviting me. And I've just been so inspired listening to you all sing, and hopefully you all too. Yeah, come check me out at the end.
Thank you so much, Shimona. The next two songs in our set feature lyrics in Spanish. The first, La Libertad, was written by Cy Khan, who is an unrepentantly political songwriter, folk singer, and grassroots organizer from the South. He wrote this tribute to the persistence and the resistance of working people everywhere. Translated from the Spanish, we are singing the following words. We are singing, marching, fighting for freedom. Long live the strike, long live freedom. La Libertad.
And after that, we're singing a rousing gospel-style bilingual chant. There's sort of a narrow genre for you. Written by Harmony Grisman. She describes her work as music as medicine. And this is a plea, or maybe a demand, to break them on down, those walls between us.
Para la libertad estamos cantando, para la libertad, la libertad. Para la libertad estamos cantando, para la libertad, la libertad. Viva, viva, viva la huelga, viva la huelga y la libertad. Viva, viva, viva la huelga, viva la huelga y la libertad. Para la libertad estamos marchando, para la libertad, la libertad. Para la libertad estamos marchando, para la libertad, la libertad. Viva, 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 viva la huelga, viva la huelga, viva la huelga, la libertad. Para la libertad estamos luchando, para la libertad, la libertad. Para la libertad estamos luchando, para la libertad, la libertad. Viva, 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 viva la huelga, viva la huelga, viva la huelga, la libertad, la libertad. Break 'em on down, break 'em on down, break 'em on down, these walls between us. Break 'em on down, break 'em on down, break 'em on down, these walls between us. Break 'em on down, these walls between us. Break 'em on down, these walls, these walls, these walls between us. Break 'em on down, break 'em on down, break 'em on down, these walls between us. Break 'em on down, break 'em on down, break 'em on down, these walls between us. Break 'em on down, break 'em on down, break 'em on down, these walls between us.
You've probably all seen people out selling this newspaper. Yeah. Real Change. Real Change is both a newspaper and an organization. They both exist to provide opportunity and a voice to homeless and other low-income people while taking action for economic, social, and racial justice. They provide jobs, journalism, and justice. Selling the newspaper is a job. Some people think it's not. Providing low-barrier, immediate work for anyone who needs it. The journalism, it's a good paper. Don't just buy it and not read it. They've won a number of journalism awards, often in competition with big papers. So, Real Change works for justice with an anti-capitalist advocacy that centers the voices of the people most affected. And here to tell us more today is Kat Huber, Development and Communications Coordinator for Real Change. Kat.
Thank you, Susan. I first wanted to share my gratitude with Seattle Labor Chorus for inviting Real Change to be here. We are so grateful, or I guess I am so grateful to help you celebrate your 27th anniversary. Thank you so much. And Real Change is actually celebrating our 30th anniversary this year. Yeah, thank you. Since 1994, we provided low-barrier employment opportunities, fearless local advocacy, and independent grassroots journalism in Seattle. And I'm here to talk a little bit more about what that really means in practice. Our advocacy team works with Real Change vendors, and alongside Real Change vendors, the folks with lived experience of homelessness and poverty who make an income selling our paper on the streets of Seattle, as Susan shared. And they work with them to advocate for long-term systemic change while meeting the immediate material needs of our community. We fight against the root causes of poverty in coalition with others like the Seattle Solidarity Budget, House Our Neighbors, and the Services Not Sweeps Coalition. We work toward community-led solutions with our unhoused neighbors at the center of our fight, advocating for a stop to cruel, violent encampment sweeps, an end to the criminalization of homelessness and poverty in Seattle, and for adequate, affordable housing for all. As I'm sure you all know, we live currently in an age of misinformation. And grassroots independent journalism, especially local journalism, is more vital than ever to a healthy democracy. In Seattle especially, we live in a time where corporate-backed media and the wealthy get to decide what gets seen and what doesn't, get to decide which voices are uplifted and which are silenced, ignored, and blamed, get to shape what truth means. And so in response, Real Change strives to uphold justice and truth, to uplift the voices that often go under and misrepresented in our city. We have a wide range of reporting. We cover statewide policies and statewide and local elections. We explore local arts. We report on the local labor movement. Shout out to Guy, the staff reporter. We highlight how Seattleites organize for racial justice, and we spend a lot of time uncovering the impact of the housing crisis on our homeless community. We strongly believe in the power of journalism to get folks educated and engaged in the fight for a better world. And I really invite you, next time you see someone selling a paper with their vendor badge on the street, please buy a paper from them and support their work for $2, cash or Venmo, plus tip. In one of the richest cities in the richest country in the world, we find it appalling that there are thousands of folks who've been left without adequate housing or supportive services. That over half of all of the people who are homeless in Seattle are unsheltered, according to the 2022 point in time count, which we all know is not adequately representing all of the homeless people in Seattle as well. That our unhoused neighbors and the folks in our community who fight for justice continue to be dehumanized, victim-blamed, and punished in mainstream news and politics. But at Real Change, we know that together, we will create a future in this city where everyone can live with dignity, regardless of income level. We know that together, we can't be stopped. So if you want to join us in this fight and learn about how to support our work, please visit my table after the concert, and thank you so much and enjoy.
Thank you so much, Kat. Patti Smith and her husband, Fred Sonic Smith, released our final song in June 1988. Patti Smith is known as the godmother of punk, and her song, People Have the Power, reminds the listener not only of their individual power, but also of the collective power of the people. This song has become a progressive anthem. This is People Have the Power.
I was dreaming, dreaming in my dreaming of an aspect bright and fair, and my sleeping, it was broken, but my dream, it lingered near in the form of shining valleys, where the pure air rarefied, and my senses newly opened, I awakened to the cry that the people have the power to redeem the work of fools upon the meek. The graces shower, its decree, the people rule. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. Mental aspects became suspect and bending low as if to hear. And the armies ceased advancing because the people had their ear. And the shepherds and the soldiers, well, they lay beneath the stars, exchanging visions and laying eyes to waste in the dust, in the form of shining valleys, where the pure air rarefied, and my senses newly opened, I awakened to the cry. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. Ooh, bop, bop, bop. Ooh, bop, bop, bop. Where there were deserts, I saw fountains like cream. The waters rise, and we strolled there together, with none to laugh or criticize. And the leopard and the lamb lay together, truly bound. I was hoping, in my hoping, to recall what I had found. I was dreaming, in my dreaming, we see a pure view. As I surrender to my sleeping, I command my dream to you. People have the power. People have the people have 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 power.
Yes. We are almost at the end, but please feel free to stick around for a little while to admire the quilt, to maybe get a few more raffle tickets, or one if you haven't yet. Take a look at the Pay What You Will auction and get to know some of the folks who are running tables for us from these fabulous organizations we had join us today. Thank you. And of course, get to know some of these other interesting people who attend Seattle Labor Chorus concerts.
Many, many thanks to our director, Miriam Anderson. Our administrator, Sherry Hinshaw. And to the concert committee chair, Shanna Matthews. Do you think we have time for one more song? Maybe just one more? I think you guys are going to know this one.
When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet no force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one, for the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. They have taken untold billions that they never tried to earn, but without our brain and muscle, not a single wheel can turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. In our hands is placed a power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong.
Thanks, everybody. See you at Folk Life.